Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining in tonight. I'm so glad that we are part of this 40-day transformation journey, and I'm really expectant, like I'm super expectant of what this journey holds for myself as a person and for each and every one of us as individuals, because I know that when you interact with wisdom, when you interact with knowledge, something would happen. There'll be a shift. You will either have a paradigm shift in your mindset and begin to think rightly, or you will just become. So it's first not about even the things that we're going to be doing first. It's first about the people we will become. And then because of the people we become, we begin to do things that are worthwhile for our society. So I'll just share my screen and yes, I'll just share my screen and then just take us through the context for this program. Please, can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, Mawik, I can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes. So it's been a long time and that I prepared slides. So I was really excited when I was doing this because like it's nice for me to do something like this and just prepare slides. Okay, so we're setting the context for this meeting. So a lot of us joined this program because we saw it on either my status or some friend's status or on Instagram. We just saw the advert or you saw the post and then you decided to join in. And I'm really glad because, most times we want to see proof of some people or of an organization before we choose to join whatever they'll be sharing. But for us that are here, it's quite different because we joined and we have so much faith from the expectations and introductions that happened on group yesterday and on Saturday. We had so much faith that something would come out of this meeting, that something will come out of this journey, something will come out of this bootcamp. And I dare to say that, yes, something will come out of this bootcamp. So who are we, basically? So Zoe Discovery Hub is a community of young visionaries who are passionate about unraveling their true selves so that they can become change agents for Africa. And yes, that just summarizes, that's like our mission statement of who we are in ZDH. We are building a community here. We are building a community of young people who are passionate about unveiling who they can become. You see, there is so much about yourself that you don't know. There's so much about yourself that you're still clueless about. But the more you interact with wisdom, the more you interact with knowledge, something happens to you, your mind opens up, you begin to see yourself as you truly are. And the essence of this community is to help us unravel, help us peel the layers that are not there, so that we can see our finest and our truest self. And the whole goal is that at the end of the day, we all become change agents of Africa. I believe so much, like since last year, I've been having this strong burden that the change that we desire in Africa, the change that we desire in Nigeria would start if our generation arises to the occasion to begin to do what we need to do. We're not just going to sit down and then wait and expect things to change. You have to do and put in the work. And we can't put in the work if we do not know better. We can't put in the work if we are not equipped. We can't put in the work if we are not nurtured into purpose. And this is what ZDH, is here to serve, to bridge the gap between the current you and the future you. So, and it's not just for Nigeria, because if I say just Nigeria, we are limiting the scope of who we can become. We are equipping ourselves so that we can change Nigeria, change Africa, and change the world as a whole. You know how there's so much, prophecy, there's so much talks about Africa is rising. I don't know if you've heard that. If you've heard Africa is rising, please put it in the comment section. Africa is rising. Africa is rising, Africa is rising. And we look at things now and it seems as though we're not making any progress, or things are not really, working as we expect it to work. Africa is rising has been in talks for like a long time. For like about 5 years, I've been hearing Africa is rising. But Africa would only rise if we step up to the occasion and do what we need to do. That's when Africa would rise. And for us to be able to do that, we have to prepare. We have to nurture ourselves that in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in this decade, we all become voices in our profession. So I'm not even looking for people that will eventually start, like this is not raising us to become coaches or raising us to start, how do I put this? I'm not equipping us, or God is not using this to equip us so that we can just start doing something. No, it's beyond that, or doing one particular thing. No, we are being equipped so that we can go to our various spheres of influence to make impact. So if your course, like I know that we have Barrister Mercy, she's a lawyer. So at the end of all this process, all this journey, the idea is that you begin to, discover what work you're supposed to be doing in law since you're practicing, and then other assignments that God can lay in your heart to do. You begin to do it. For what? For the sake of Africa. Negotiating policies that can change things. Just like you're a fashion designer. Like if we leave people will dress as they want. And like nowadays, people just say that like do what is comfortable for you. But I think we're telling ourselves a lie to an extent, because it's not just about what is comfortable, it's about what is right. Like no matter how we try to paint some realities, truth will always remain truth. So we need someone from here to go into the fashion space and do the work that needs to be done to prevent decadence in our society, in the fashion industry. We need someone to step up to the occasion to do something that needs to be done in media, releasing movies that are educative, movies that children can watch. Nowadays, you'll be scared to allow a child to watch television if you're not there, because you're not sure what the child will encounter. But it doesn't have to be so. Things can be better. Things can be better. And that's why we are here. We are here training ourselves, building a community that is going to change Africa. And I said young visionaries because my focus is not the older generation or the people that have gone ahead of us. My focus is young people. In fact, this assignment is particularly to people between the age of 13 to 25 for us to grow. Maybe let's say 13 to 30. Basically, so that we can rise to the occasion and do the work that needs to be done. So that when I come to ZDH, I'm looking for someone to work with on a movie. I don't have to start looking far or start doing plenty analysis. I'll just come to ZDH and I'll see someone who is a good movie director, producing movies that have social impact, movies that change the world, and someone who is vetted too. Someone who delivers excellent results. So we're not even talking about being mediocre. So we're not settling for less. We're not going to do just normal, just so that we can, scale to the next level. No, we're going to put in the work. If we have to study to show ourselves approved, we'll do that, just so that we can be the people for the job. A person that received the vision, my mentor will say, the person who receives a vision is not the same person that fulfills the vision. The person that fulfills the vision is 10 times more than the person that receives the vision. So you can receive a vision of yourself. Like some of us, if I tell us to start putting the goals that, we have, some of us, we have goals that we're going to, I have a goal that I'm going to be like a director general in maybe World Health Organization, United Nations, and all those kind of things. I want to change things from the global level. But then, right now, I cannot be a director general. Like, there's no magic that can actually make me a director general right now. But I can start putting things in place, line upon line, precept upon precept. And then in the next 10 years, I position myself as a thought leader, that these organizations begin to seek me out to tell me that we need what you have. Are we getting what I'm saying? So it's not like we're settling for less. It's not like we're saying, okay, let's just do this thing and let's just do this thing. No, we want to put in the work to deliver the best for Africa. We want to bet the Africa of our dreams. And so the goal of this bootcamp is to provide an incubating environment that helps young visionaries unleash their potential. So this bootcamp, why we are here for these 40 days, is of course, learning is not a one-time thing, but this is like an incubation. There's something that happens. I don't know if you've ever gone for a retreat, and then after the retreat, you just know that you've gone to another level, or you just know that something has changed because of the retreat. It's the same thing when you're in a boot camp. It doesn't mean you will never go for other boot camps. It doesn't mean that you stop learning, but you just know that something has shifted. It's either you're having new thinking patterns, or you know that something is different. And that's what this boot camp is going to provide for us. Me, I'm on this journey. Me, I'm submitting to learn. I'm bringing speakers. Most of the things we'll be having, or most of the things we'll be learning during the course of this program, we're having speakers join us from my senior mentors, senior colleagues that have proven track record in some of the topics that I've selected to, educate us. So me, sometimes I'll be sitting down and I'll be writing, taking notes and journaling my insights to begin to use these tools to help myself. So I just really want to encourage us to be responsible in this journey. Don't leave the work for anybody. Like, we are responsible for our own growth. We're responsible for our own journey. And once you just really put in the work, these 40 days to like give it our all until we get what we want. We're not losing sight of what we want to see. For some of us, we're not even seeing anything. Some of us don't even know what we want. But that's what this bootcamp would provide. For some of us, we'll go through healing. Because if we don't heal, there's a lot of things that cannot happen for us. For some of us, we're here, and what will happen to us is that our mind will shift. For some of us, would begin to see clearly our purpose, where we are. Because assignment is in levels, really. Assignment is in levels. You do something, and then because you're faithful in doing something, more opportunities open up to you. So for some, it's just to create a system in their life that can house where they are going. They already have a clear direction of what they ought to be doing. But what they don't have is structure. What they don't have is a direction of what they ought to be doing. So for some of us, what will happen for us is that at the end of this bootcamp, we become more disciplined. We engage healthy habits. We create an intentional life design that helps us to go to the next level. Okay. Please, can we all mute our mics? Really? Okay. Eta, please, can you help me mute everybody? Okay. Okay. Okay, sorry for that. Yeah. So now the objectives for this 40-day bootcamp, this is what I see. This is what I know would happen for every one of us, or for some of us. But I know that some things will be ticked out of these objectives for us. One of things that I know will happen for us is that for some of us will be healed from wounds, will be healed. A lot of things have happened to some of us as children that we've not healed from. Maybe we've been told that we're not good enough, or we've seen ourselves literally fail at everything we've done. And then we've concluded that, okay, some things are not for us. So we're not even looking in that direction when those are some of the paths that, could have taken. Some of us have lost loved ones, and then it has broken us. There is a pain in our heart that has not really healed. But we've covered it up. We've allowed that wound to fester. We've covered it up with makeup, Gucci bags and wearing fine clothes and all. We've not really dealt with some of those issues. But I'm trusting that at the end of this program, we would open up ourselves and allow those wounds heal. Open ourselves and allow those wounds heal. Because pain should not stop you from fulfilling purpose. Pain should not be what would make you or hinder you from, attaining all that God has put on your inside. You can derive purpose from pain. I know a lot of people, I was sharing with my team the other day, I know a lot of people who, just because of a pain they encountered, they started something that is changing the world today. But for other people, so there's some other people that because of pain, they've just let themselves go. They're no longer believing. They don't even think anything. In fact, like, they can be doing well in certain areas, but when something triggers that pain, they fall apart. It doesn't have to be so. You can live a healthy, wholesome life, but you need to open up and, open up that wound and intentionally deal with it. You need to look back and just think about the things that have happened to you. Those things did not happen to destroy you. Some of those things happened so that you can get purpose from it. Because there are some people that you will meet on your journey. There are some people that you will meet on your journey that need you to have passed through some of those experiences to show them the way to go. If you have not passed through that experience, you'll be unable to show them the path to take. So I'm hoping that we will not just, let our pain deter us or let our pain stop us from everything that we can, be. Something else that will happen for us is that we'll have the courage to believe bigger. There is so much more. Like last year.
Great. Okay, so we still. Oh, great. Okay, Mama, over to you. You have to unmute yourself, Ma.
So I'm so sorry. I think that my network disconnected for a while. So I've gotten another network and it will not disconnect again. So we're still recording, right? Yeah. So I'll just give me some time to just share my screen again. Okay, Christian, we'll take questions at the end. So let me just go through the slides first, and then we'll take questions at the end of this meeting. Okay. Okay, so I was saying that, so sorry about the interruption. So I think I can continue now. So I was saying that something that will happen again for us is that we'll have the courage to believe bigger. Like there is so much, something happened to me last year that really changed the tide for me. And I know that there is so much more that lies ahead. And I believe strongly in my heart that if you're invested in this program, if you put in the work, something that will happen for you is that you have the courage to believe bigger. And then you get clarity. Like, who doesn't love clarity? I love clarity. Like, I love to be clear before I do anything. I love to be sure of what I'm doing. And you have clarity of vision, clarity of what you ought to be doing now. And then you not just have clarity of vision, you will be empowered to capture your vision. You'll be empowered to, pursue the vision that you have captured. And then you'll become more self-aware. I'm hoping that we'll take a lot of personality tests during this 40-day boot camp. And then there's a session, if you look at your calendar, I think on the 29th of this month. On the 29th of this month, we have a Q&A session. So that day will just be like Q&A, having conversation on things we've been learning and interacting with, and then just forming a a post-conception journal, something like that. But I think before then, I will share workbooks with us that we would use to prepare for that meeting. So you'll be more aware of yourself. You see, the greatest thing you can do for you is to know you very well. If you know yourself very well, you will know what you can take. You'll be able to set the right boundaries. You'll be able to seek the help that you need. Some of us, we don't know how to ask for help. And the reason we don't know how to ask for help is because we think that nobody would help us. Or we think that we don't really need help or something. And because we don't even know our strengths, so we can't even know who to ask help for, to come and, balance us out and, take us to the next level. But what will happen is that you become more aware of yourself. You will know how to navigate your life like a pro. There's something else that I believe would happen for us is that we'll have a family here. So I'm hoping that after this 40-day boot camp, we'll not just disperse. We'll have a community because we want to build a strong community. Like I said earlier, that if I'm looking for a lawyer, something happens, I need a lawyer to help me draft maybe my co-founder agreement for my business. I just come here and I say, please, who is a lawyer? And I have people that can do the job excellently. If I say, okay, we want to go and feed or renovate a school, and I'm looking for quality people that would give, I can just come to our community. You see people that would, if they cannot even give towards the program, they have people in their network, in governments, in Ministry of Education that we can talk to, get the approvals and just make everything easy, make the process easy for us. So we are building a community and a family here in ZDH. So I'm hoping that after, we'll not just run away, we'll stay together and build together. And something else that would happen is that we also will begin to replicate ourselves, because this work in Africa, only one person cannot do it though. In fact, 1 million people cannot do it. But the more we are, the stronger we can, the stronger the impact we can make in our continent and in Nigeria as a whole. Okay, so for the purpose of this bootcamp, we'll be looking at 4 major themes. Number 1 is healing. Like I said, we need to heal. Another thing is purpose discovery. Another thing is just spirituality and you, because life is spiritual. Whether you agree with me or not, it doesn't change the fact that life is spiritual. Another thing is structure and systems, building an intentional life design. There is this book I love so much by James Clear. It talks about habits. So if I read his articles every day, he sends me articles every Thursday. So building an intentional life design is important. My mentor, I think it was even James Clear that said that. He said, we don't rise to the level of our vision. We fall to the level of our system. So some of us, we have big goals, great goals, amazing goals. At the beginning of this year, we did like New Year resolution, we set like goals. But you know what? You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. What structures have you put in place to ensure that you achieve your goals? If you don't put structure, you cannot achieve your goals. So structure is what makes it easy for you to achieve your goals. So yes, we'll be talking about structures and systems, and then we'll be sharing materials. I said something about, if you looked at the calendar, you would see that I talked about every day of the week, we would share a weekly affirmation at the beginning of the week on Monday. And then every other day, we'll be sharing an article a day. It could be a video, a resource a day. So it could be a video that speaks to healing or an article that speaks to healing. And I will encourage us to just read them and take notes. Then on Thursday, we'll have book review. We are reading a very short book. In fact, you can read that book in 30 minutes. And the reason I chose a book this short is so that we don't have the excuse of saying that, okay, we are in school, we can't sit down or find time to read these materials. and making it as short as possible so that we can actually invest the time and study these materials. Then what will happen on Thursdays, as we do our book reviews, we're going to now, as we do our book reviews, we'll now use the resources we've been sharing from the beginning of the week to expand our ideas on what the book is talking about. The core focus of the book is purpose discovery, finding your purpose in life. We'll now use it to expand and just have discussions concerning the theme of the week. So for this week one, our theme for this week is healing. So that said, let me just share one or two thoughts on some of these themes. So healing from soul's wounds. Every person has a story. Every person has a wound that he or she seeks to heal. I believe that, vision, I even put that on our group this morning. Vision cannot stick on a stinky heart. Like, your heart is like the core of your being. If you don't have a right heart, you will lose a lot of things, because vision cannot stick on a heart that is not pure, that is not clear. And that's why we must do a heart work. That's why we must invest in actually staying. That's why we must invest in actually staying to, like, really check our hearts to ensure that we're not holding on to any pain. We don't have wounds that need to heal. Okay? We don't have wounds that need to heal. So even if you've been hurt so bad, you have to let it go. Because what lies ahead is greater than what has gone. And unforgiveness, bitterness, all these things that affect us inwardly stops us. It hinders us from stepping into our best versions. And will not allow something like that, hinder us. No, we'll not allow something like that hinder us. We'll do our best, basically, to ensure that we get all that we need to get from life. So we'll heal. There's something else that on purpose discovering. This thought shared by Martin Kip. It says, discovering your purpose is the most significant thing you will do in your life. And you, your loved ones, and the world will be better off because you went on this journey. So I think it was Miles Monroe that said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So when we don't know the purpose of this, like for instance, this remote, if we don't know the purpose of this remote, like, we will not be able to use it or utilize it to the best that it can give us. If you don't know the purpose of your life, you would shortchange yourself. If you don't know the purpose of your life, you will live less than you are. In fact, if you don't know the purpose of your life, you would abuse yourself. Yeah, so the abuse is inevitable. Is you abusing yourself, you living less than you truly are. So purpose discovery is something, it's a journey that you must go on. A journey that you must go on intentionally. And so you're not just doing it for yourself, because when you understand purpose, you do it for your future, you do it for your generation, you do it for your loved ones, you do it for the world. Because the world would truly be a better place when everybody, becomes responsible and begins to do and fulfill the reason why they are here. The reason why there's so much chaos here is because we have a lot of wounded people, a lot of angry people, a lot of sad people, a lot of evil people, But if people would find their purpose, just imagine how great the world would be, because everybody will be looking out for them, out for others. So what you're doing, you'll be putting others first. Whatever you're doing, you'll be putting others first. So you have to be excited to discover your purpose on this journey. If you need to pray, if you need whatever work or whatever investment you need to do these 40 days, you need to, put in the work. And purpose is not a destination, it's a journey. So I'm not saying that you will just have a 360 overview of what you're supposed to be doing in your life. No, In fact, purpose is reviewed per step. If you're not doing what you ought to be doing now, you won't even hear the next thing you're supposed to be doing. So you need to become responsible. Like you need to do one thing, and then by the time you do it, it expands. You see more things that you can begin to do in that area or even in another area. But what I want you to open your heart for in this period is that during this journey, I must be clear on certain things that I need to start doing. I must be clear. My eyes will be open to see certain things I need to start doing. Then your spirituality and you. So Joshua Selman, he says, life is not just intellectual and logical. It is spiritual, more spiritual than it is physical. And that's the truth. Life is super spiritual. Like if you undermine the spirituality of everything that you see, you're shortchanging yourself, because a lot of things happen first in the spiritual before it happens physically. So you must understand yourself. You must be one with your core, because you are a spiritual being. Yes, you're not your body. Your body is a fine vessel. All right. Please, I'll take every question. I can see some people are raising their hands, but I'll take questions after this session. I'll soon be done in the next 3 minutes or so. Next 3 minutes, I'll be done. So I'll take all the questions. So I was saying that life is spiritual. That you're not your body. You are your spirit is you, your soul, your spirit and your soul. That's the real you. So how can you, and your soul is an ageless entity. Like your soul has information that your body doesn't know. Because your body is just, maybe for some of us, your body is 18 years, some 20 years, 25 years, 26 years, 15 years. But for your body is not that old. That's my point. But your soul is ageless. Your soul has information that if you don't sit still and connect with your core, you'll not be able to get the information in your soul that would help your destiny and help the world at large. So you must invest in your spirituality. Spirituality is not religion. Yes, it's not religion. But you must invest in your spirituality to know your core, to know who made you and why he has sent you here. Then another thing is structures and systems. So when Thea says the power of intention is the power to manifest, to create, to live a life of unlimited abundance, and to attract into your life the right people at the right moment. If you're not intentional about your life, like if you don't put the systems and the structures in place, that's even the worst thing to do to yourself, really. Like how can you not be intentional? Like for some of us that work, you're intentional about your career. You're even intentional about another man's business, and you're not intentional about your own life. You'll not be able to attract the resources that you need. If you attract the resources you need, then you must be intentional about your life. Intentional to put in the work. Intentional to put in the systems that can help you achieve your visions. You have to be intentional about everything. Intentional about your relationship. Intentional about the books you read. Information you allow enter into you. Intentional about everything. So if there is something, or if there are people that have no business with where you're going to, there's no need to be in a relationship with them. Of course, you owe everybody love, but not everybody has to have access into your life. But because you're not intentional about your life, like your life is just like anyhow, and like anything happens. But no, it cannot happen after this boot camp, because after this boot camp, we'll learn to be intentional about our life. Then finally, I just want to say, the moment you take responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you can change anything in your life. So we have to take responsibility for these 40 days. Like, let's attend live sessions like this. when I bring our speakers, let's show up. Let's read the book. Let's read the resources. Let's just become responsible for these 40 days. Let's just take responsibility for this learning, for this journey. There is little I can do. The only thing I can do is to come here, talk, encourage us, share resources. But you see the work that will happen. We have to do it ourselves. And so I just want us, to be really intentional about our journey. So that brings me to the end of my session tonight, introduction session tonight. So I'll stop sharing my screen and we can now ask questions. So I know some people are raising their hands now and we can ask questions. But if you're not even going to ask any question, I really want us to just really share what has stood out. What do you have a change of expectation after this session? What do you have? Has your expectation changed after this session? Or what is going to happen? I just really want to know. So who wants to unmute and share? Share what your expectations are or what you believe would happen for you during the course of this program. So for the past 30 minutes I've been speaking. Yes, oh sure, you can type it, Esther, you can type it. If you want to unmute and speak, just raise up your hand and I would allow you unmute. What do you think about this 40-day journey? What do you think you would start doing, or what are your expectations? Okay. Charles, please unmute.
Right. Good evening.
Good evening,
Can you
sir.
hear me? Good evening, Ma. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I must say your presentation was really wonderful and I enjoyed every bit of it. I'm very passionate about leadership and wealth creation, and I must also say that joining this boot camp, after joining this introductory session, I would say that this would take me a step further in the course of achieving my my leadership and wealth creation goals and objectives. So I look forward to gaining more, to becoming a better version of myself after this whole 40-day session. And I also do appreciate you and your team for putting this together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charles. Thank you very much. You see, just to say something, Charles says that he's interested in, wealth creation. Something that I've seen happen this past 1 year for me. I won't say there has not been challenges, but something I've seen happen for me is that, when you start adding value, or when you start living your life with intentionality, resources flow to you. And apart from the fact that resources flow to you, you become empowered to even help others build resources. Yes. So I'm really excited for you, Charles. And I trust that apart from this meeting, everything that will happen in this journey, rather, that we would see the impact of your work. We'll be a part of it. You see people like green investment, yes, smart stewards. They are building a community of people that invest their money rightly. By the time you get all these rights, you start teaching us how to invest our money right. And then in ZDH, we have someone, who is a wealth creation guru, who has systems that have been proven to work. And then you've built yourself to the extent. I said from the beginning, we're not doing mediocrity here. We're putting in the work. We're doing excellent things. Whatever we do, we're doing excellent things. And then we'll just thrive together. We'll just really enjoy the whole flow together. Thank you so much. So I'll read everything Esther has been sharing. So if you would like to speak, you can just raise your hand and I will ask you to unmute. So Esther said, okay. Esther says, now I know that first of all, I need to work on my heart. A lot of healing and correction must take place, then intentionality. I need to be intentional about the people I let into my space, the materials I interact with. She says, how I use my time. I need to invest in the right knowledge. Now I know that I must interact with my core, so I won't deprive of myself of all that is meant for me. Yeah, this is amazing. It's amazing. I feel like you were just like writing everything that I was saying. Yes. Thank you so much for Esther for sharing. Thank you so much. Joshua says, for me, I see myself coming out better, knowing that there is more to achieve, and being intentional is something I see myself working on. A community where everything or every professional skill is available is what I'm also looking forward to. Yes. In all, I have a lot of expectation, and I'm also motivated that I will not be disappointed. Thank you for the opportunity. Like, I must say thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for coming on board, because like I said initially, not everybody will just come on board to something that is for the first time, but you all believed and you're here. And I trust that you'll not be disappointed, because you would become. If you would always become, in my closet, I will pray people into becoming. Because at the end of this program, our lives will become proof of what interacting with the right knowledge can do for us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Is there anybody else that wants to share before we close out on this meeting tonight? Becoming is a must. Yes, we would become. It's a journey, but we would become. We refuse to settle for less. So our mind will shift, and then we'll go on that journey of becoming. We'll begin to see results. And you know what results do for us? You know, when you start your life, you see that your life is changing. You know, it's like ginger, it's like fuel to fire. You know, that proof will be like a fuel. And then you just keep growing, and keep growing. Any other comment for tonight before we close out on this session? So now let me just do a roll call. Thank you, Ajay Esther, for joining me tonight. Amara Claire, I have a namesake here, nice. Thank you, Babatunde Joshua. Thank you, Buma Banigo. Thank you, Charles Obirin na nwa. I hope I got that right. Thank you, Christian Chiamogu. Thank you, Beni. Thank you, Mercy, Caris Donatus. Thank you, Mercy Godwin. Thank you, Sarah Matthew. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you for joining in tonight. I'm really excited. I can say that tonight's meeting was a success. Yes, tonight's meeting was a success. Thank you all for joining in once again. So we'll see again on Sunday on a live session, and we'll see again on the WhatsApp group on Thursday when we have our book review. Like I said, please, let's take responsibility for this journey and, you know, put in the work. Let's interact with the resources, and let's just, you know, let's grow together. Let's do cool things together. Let's live a chilled life together. Let's become, so that when we're changing Africa, just imagine, you know, I'm sitting on one of the boards of government making policy decisions, and then I see like we are plenty on that table that know each other because we've all been groomed. I like it. I love it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. So tomorrow we'll take our affirmations, and I'll share another article. If you've not watched the video, I shared this morning. Please just take your time and watch. It's just 6 minutes, area, and it's all over. So take your time, watch the video. Tomorrow I'll share maybe an article with us, and yeah, we're good to go. So this is the start of our 40-day journey. Hooray! Thank you guys for joining in tonight. So at this junction, we'll call it a night. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Everybody, thank you for coming.